I need help. Hey ho, it's Rachel from Miss Daisy Sewing, and we also have Missy here today. And we're going to talk about cross stitches today. I cross stitch in my idle time. It's my quiet craft for when I don't really want to be using the sewing machine or it's late in the evening, and it's just something to sort of plod at, which doesn't require too much thinking. There's one slight problem though, in that I have a lot of cross stitches, to the point I'm running out of room on the walls. So I've made cross stitches for the wall. I've now made sort of like in the hoop as reefs for the window that I rotate each month. And I've also cross stitched on things like tote bags as gifts, but I'm sort of running out of ideas on how to use them because my house is becoming inundated with cross stitches. And with my most recent sort of side project, so this is a project I've been doing between my bigger cross stitch pieces, and that's the Furry Tails mice from the World of Cross Stitch magazine. So I've got one in the hoop here that's almost done, and then I've got here a little envelope with all of my little completed ones. So there's quite a few here. And this was just a sort of side quest project that I started months and months ago, just to fill in between bigger projects, or if I was traveling and just wanted to take something small somewhere. So what I'm thinking of doing with them is making a cover for my embroidery machine. At the moment, it's got the one that technically came with my sewing machine, which is too small, and I think they would be really cute sort of along the bottom edge and like on the pockets. I'm sort of slightly inspired by this little guy, who's my little Piper, and I've got some nice tartan ribbon and a sort of dark green fabric, which I think would contrast really nicely with the yellow. So we're going to go for some quite Scottish sort of themed sewing machine covers, which I can get away with being Scottish. So yeah, first of all, let's finish up these cross stitches and then we'll get on to the sewing. So I'll see you soon. Boop. So I have a funny relationship when it comes to cross stitch. I used to do it all the time as a kid. Like a lot of kids my age, we were taught to cross stitch to learn to count, basically. And I was prolific at it until I was about 14, 15, when I figured out how to knit, and all of a sudden, level unlock, I was not interested in cross stitch. Until the pandemic, when I picked it back up again, and since then I've consistently had a project on the go pretty much at all times. So we've got here all of the cross stitches. Really pleased with them. There's quite a lot now. So the plan is to give them all a quick little iron, and then I'm going to use some iron-on interfacing. So this will go onto the back of each piece like that, and it will then just stop the work sort of fraying and coming apart in the future. So this is my existing sewing machine cover. I made it quite a few years ago now, and my sewing has definitely improved since I made this. This here is my embroidery machine, and the cover on here is actually the one that did come with my Necky. So I have checked, and the cover does fit the slightly larger machine, which is great because I'm just going to reuse this pattern. I don't have my original self-drafted pattern, so I'm just going to redraft again off of this one and use that for the base. The plan is to make a matching pair. I do think I have enough fabric for that. I certainly do have enough mice. So I want to make a matching pair, but this cover is not going to go to waste, guys, don't worry. I'll use this one on my overlocker. These two sit side by side up at the top of my sort of shelving unit, whereas the overlocker is sort of on the bottom, so it would be nice to have these matching together. And yeah, let's get on to drafting this. To copy the pattern, I just simply measured the end panel and marked it out on some paper here, and then I did the same with the pocket.
making a note that it would be cut on the fold, because that's how we get the front and back of the pocket there. And then the main body was just a quick little measurement. To get that nice curved shape, I just literally cut the piece here and just trimmed a nice corner on the edge there. And here I've cut out the lining pieces, and I'm just sort of trying to play about with placement for the mice. I was slithering between having one at the front and the back and having two in the middle, or just having one at an end and having the three. I didn't have enough mice to do all the way around. And here I am measuring the sort of final cross stitch pieces to work out what size of window I want to make in the tartan for the cross stitch to then sort of peek out from. And I sort of settled on a 10 by 10 centimeter square here. So here I'm sort of working out the placement for the sort of windows. So first of all on the pocket, working that sort of centre area, and then marking on the square, and then doing much the same on that sort of longer panel. The tartan itself was really quite handy for this because I provided a centre guide a lot of the time for me and just sort of gave me a little bit more accuracy in keeping things neatly in line. The next step with the windows was to cut into each corner, making a sort of cross, and then I could fold back each edge, and that would create a nice little window to then pop in the cross stitch. Then I ironed all of that just to get nice crisp edges. And to finish everything off, I just used a zigzag stitch in a red just to get everything nice and secure and neatly in place.
That's the windows done, and I'm really pleased with how clean these all look. They're not perfect, but we're just going for something fun. And then these will be, I'm just doing the front two pockets, so my sewing machine sit with the pocket side out. So I'm just going to do the front two pockets with a mouse on it, and these are my favourite two of the stitches. It was hard to pick, but these are my favourite two of the mice. So I've got the edging on the main body of the cover now. If you're curious, it is quite messy underneath, but nobody's going to see that. So that's going to be hidden. And then what I'm going to do now is add the pockets. So this is the pocket piece which was cut on the fold, so it gets folded in half like that. And then what I'm going to do is baste it just along the two edges. So there we are. I'll baste it just along here and here, just to hold that pocket in place when it comes to doing the assembly. And I think it's going to look really nice all together actually. Really pleased with how it's coming together.
From here, assembly is pretty simple. This would be just doing those basting stitches I mentioned. And then from there, we just have to get the two ends right sides together, sewn around the curve onto the main body. And then once we have both front and back done, it's just a simple case of bag lining. So that's putting them together, right sides together, and then leaving a little gap, sewing all the way around the edge. And once we've finished sewing around the edge, we just turn it right sides out, give it a little fluff, make sure we're happy, and then I did a top stitch around the edge, which then also helps secure in that gap that I'd left open.
Hey y'all, I'm really pleased with how these turned out. I needed a bit of a quick win project today. My other project, which you'll see later this month, has been really enjoyable, quite challenging at the same time, and I just needed a quick palette cleanse project. The actual assembling of the sewing machine covers did just take the afternoon. Obviously I've added windows and dual colours and all this nonsense. If it was just a straight cover, you could probably bop it out in an hour or so. So yeah, it's been really nice to just have a quick win. Really pleased with the final sort of look of it. Obviously, the cross stitches do need to be semi-protected, which is why I wanted to put them on something that's not going to get touched a lot. It's not going to get like particularly dirty. You know, they're on the machine, or I tend to put them on the back of the chair. So I'm quite confident that the cross stitches are going to hold up just fine. Although saying that, if anyone has any ideas for a different way or something different to make with cross stitches, I'm all ears. Please do pop it in the comments below. I am desperately in need of other ways to display my cross stitches. I have so many of them, and it's something that I'm going to keep doing anyway. So yeah, my only regret with these is that the back pocket is blank. If I just pivot this down, it's blank. It's still a pocket, still functional. I didn't have enough of the yellow Aida to do another two. So, like I said earlier, though, that's going to go against the wall. Nobody's going to see that there's one missing there. It's just my own sort of personal. Oh, it'd have been nice to have had them going all the way around. But nonetheless, so that's that. Really happy with them. I think it's a really nice way to display the cross stitches. It's still functional, it's still practical. It's something I was going to make anyway. And yeah, really pleased. If anyone else, like I said, has any ideas on ways to use cross stitches, or if they're inspired, do let me know. We'd love to hear from you. And until then, I will let you all go and get cracking back on with my other project. So I'll see you then. Bye.